Hello everybody and welcome to day 12. Ooh, it's a bit of an early one for me this morning. But today is another Wednesday, which means we have some lovely midweek mobilizations when we're really working into hips, hamstrings, shoulders, the whole body today. So really know that just take your time with it and push to your limits but not beyond them. Just as long as you're feeling a stretch and a gentle mobilization in the joints, that's what it's all about, my friends. Getting the body loosey-goosey and moving with a whole lot of love. So we're going to start with one of my favourites and ones that we've done in previous movement challenge that I know have gone down well, and I call them happy hips because we really mobilise through those hip joints while stretching out our hip flexors. And to start with, the alignment is as if your toe, heel, and then knee and foot on the opposite leg are all sat along one long straight line. So you're sort of almost tucking your knee inward slightly to create this tram line of limbs. And from this position, the reason we do that is to just throw you off balance a bit, because it just really makes you recruit your core and your glutes. If you find that your balance is just way too off, either get a broomstick or something that you can hold for a little bit of support. Alternatively, just shuffle that front leg out to the side a little bit. But you're going to feel most mobilizations when they're in that nice tram line. Hands come up towards behind the head, really open the chest and keep that rib cage tucked. So don't, as the arms come up, don't let that low back arch like this. I want that rib cage to stay nice and tucked, so you're really feeling a stretch through the front of that leg there. And all we're going to do is a lunge forward. We're going to lunge forward with the legs, but as we do that, we're going to turn our upper body to 3 points. So if you imagine you have a clock face, you're going to go to say sort of 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2, then you're going to go to 3, and then you're going to go say 4:30. So hands towards 1:30, let's say, and then you lunge forwards as far as you can, really feeling that through that hip, keeping that rib cage tucked and not allowing your low back to overarch. When you do that, if you think about keeping that bottom tucking underneath, almost as if your seat bones are pushing down towards your knee. And then when you're going to come back up, turn to 3 o'clock, and then you're going to hinge on that one nice and slow and controlled, and then you're going to come back up. Ooh, don't fall over. Turn to 4:30, and that's when you'll feel it more in the front one as well. Come back up, turn to the front. And each one of those moves counts as one. And I'm actually going to get you to do 30 in total. So you'll do 10 of each direction. So that's 1 to the side, 2 to the back, 3. Now there's a real temptation to cheat and not come fully up and sort of bounce low. I want you to really controlled and slow come all the way up between each move. And then obviously switch legs, feet into a nice tram line, and do exactly the same. Rib cage tucked, buttocks, seat bones pushing down towards the knee as you hinge forward and really feel that stretching through your hip flexor and through those hip joints. 30 on each side. Enjoy those ones, you lovely lot. Then we've got the scapular hip bounce. Now this one is really to start mobilising the shoulder blade and using a bounce of a hip to encourage that. It's all to do with the stretch reflex and the rebound sort of phenomenon in muscle tissues, which you guys don't need to know about. Just trust me. So what I want you to do is stand left foot facing forward. Right foot, the heel is going to be in line with your toe, and that toe is going to be pointing out at about 45 degrees. The hips are simply bouncing from one to the other. It doesn't have to be forceful, but you should feel a stretch first of all in this left hip. Unless you've got really bendy hips, you probably won't feel this so much. And then coming back, you may feel it on the inside of that right hip. But this is the movement, this is the bounce. And then the arm, the right arm, is going to swing. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And you're going to do, let's go for 30 on each leg. Please don't force this bounce, it's not aggressive, it's nice and gentle, but there is a little spring back from that reverse. And then you're going to switch it up. So your heel comes in line with your big toe on the right, foot on the left turned out 45 degrees, and you go, as the arm comes up, the legs swing down, and let the arm should go to end range. It's all about, as this sort of bounces, the bounce at the end on the hips creates a bit of tissue stretch. The same way with the arm, you want the bounce, the rebound at the end of your tissue capacity to add a little bit of a stretch in the shoulder as well. So arm comes up as hips go out. And you can either do it slowly or you can do it fast, whichever feels right for you. Okay, any problems or questions with that one? Because I know it's a bit different, you just let me know. Then we've got dynamic hamstring, which is similar. We're nice and mobile, but this time we're stretching out the backs of the legs and the fronts of the hip flexors. So you're going to swing the arms, step forward, arms come up, and then you're going to swing back, arms come down. Again, this is a good one for balance. So you're going to go arms up, and that should really stretch through. You're pushing the hips forward, you're tucking the bottom underneath, keeping the rib cage tucked, so you should feel that stretching through the front of that right thigh. Arms go up, and then you're going to swing those arms back down and stretch the hamstring, keeping the back nice and flat, left leg straight, toe lifts up to really get that calf working. And stretch up and lean back. And you can do 15 on each side, because this plus this counts as one, okay? And really stretch up, feel that through that hip flexor, tucking the bottom underneath, tipping the hips forward, and then throw your bottom backwards as you feel that stretching through there, the whole time engaging that lovely core to keep you nice and balanced. And then, oh goodness, we're moving on to some lovely ones now. Just to tone it right down and stretch out through the mid-back, because we did quite a lot of work yesterday with those stabilizers around this area. So I'm hoping today's stretches are going to help you feel a little bit looser through there. So cat-cow, coming into a nice tabletop position like this, shoulders stacked above your wrists, pressing through your fingertips and through the pads of your fingers to take the stress off your wrist. Alternatively, you can do it on your fist, whichever makes you feel nice. Shoulders come back and down, knees are hip distance apart, and from here you're going to tuck your chin and push up between your shoulder blades, really tucking the chin and really pushing in the middle of the back to stretch out through the rest. And then when you've done that and tucked that tailbone underneath, you're going to reverse, scooping forward, looking up to the ceiling, opening out through those collarbones, and then reverse it. And then through. Now the key with this one is to never force the pressure and the arch from your low back. I want you to imagine that you're pushing the breastbone down to the floor and through the arms, so the force downwards almost comes from between the shoulder blades rather than in the low back, because what we don't want you doing is just collapsing through the low back and compressing in through here. We want you instead to be arching through the upper part. Can you see the difference between when I just do my lower back like that and when I actually then increase the arch in my upper back as well? Good. Remember to pad out under your knees if that's at all achy for you. And then the last one, the lovely, lovely neck rolls. So you're going to sit up nice and straight. You can either sit on a cushion, you can sit on a chair, you can sit on a block or a book. You don't have to sit cross-legged, but we're going to stretch out this neck a little bit. We're going to mobilise it. So with these mobilisations, we're essentially doing circles, but only half circles. So you're going to tip your left ear towards your left shoulder. To increase this stretch, you can push palms of the hands down towards the floor. So you're not necessarily resting the hands on the floor, you're just almost extending the hands out to the sides a little bit. from that position, you're going to slowly roll the chin forward to the chest and then out to the side. And then back the other way. And you're going to do 15 each side. Wherever you feel a little bit of stickiness or a little bit of tightness, just pause, floss back through it, and then return there again on the next time. You just sort of take your time through those areas. Posturally, really try and sit up straight and roll those shoulders back and down. Don't allow the body to slouch forward like this. Firstly, it looks horrible for your poor posture, but it also isn't going to stretch through the muscles where I want you to be working. So really sit up nice and straight, shoulders back and down, hands out to the side, tip to the side from there, roll slowly forwards to the other side. As you tip to the right, you really think about pushing that left hand away, and then roll around to the left and think about pushing that right hand away. I should say, with some breathing, for cat-cow and for this one, use your breath. So on the cat-cows, take an inspiration, as I'm going to do it the yoga way rather than the chiropractic way. So yoga way, as you inspire, as you take a breath in, you are going to arch, and then as you exhale, you're going to arch all the way up. And then as you inspire or breathe in, chest comes forward, and then exhale, and you arch out. With the leg crossed, do what you want to, but really inspiration to midpoint, expiration to the other way. So inhale to middle, breathe out to the other side. First of all, that's going to slow you down, and it's going to make those stretches almost more expansive through the chest at the same time as being active within the neck. So I think that's it, guys. We have the happy hips. So you line your hips up, feet in a line, and you go 1, back, 2, back, 3, back. And then we have the scapular hip bounce. So throwing the arm to end range as you let the hips bounce. And then we have dynamic hamstring, where you're reaching up, stretching through the front of the body there, tucking the rib cage and tucking the hips, and then coming back and stretching the hamstring and reaching up. Then we have cat-cow, which we've just done. This one, cat-cow, pushing through the mid-back, tucking the chin. And then the last one, of course, is the lovely neck rolls, pushing with the hands to really increase that stretch. Oh, it just feels lovely. I'm looking forward to those already. Have a lovely Wednesday mobilisational, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.